Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be going over the characteristics of a god slash goddess. Now, what does it mean to be a god? What does it mean to be a goddess? When you operate on a god level, when you operate on a goddess level, you walk in your divine power. You operate as you are. You are co-creators of your own reality. You don't let anything in this world stop you from achieving your dreams. You don't let anything in this world stop you from realizing who you truly are. All right, you spread love because you are the definition of love. You provide knowledge. You help those who are oppressed. You do all these things because these things are the characteristics of being a god slash goddess. All right. And when I say that you are a god or you are a goddess, I'm not saying this in an egotistical way. All right. Because isn't it written in your law that ye are gods, that ye are children of the Most High? Right. So at the beginning, I was going to title this video how to become a god slash goddess, but I questioned myself and I said to myself, how can one become something that they already are?
Know you a god even when they say you ain't.
Why be a king when you can be a god?
That's right. You had no idea, did you? I've been a Super Saiyan for years, and now I too have the power of a god.
See what I'm saying? So, especially my people, us melanated people, we have truly forgotten who we are. We are the most lost beings on this planet. All right, our history has been, wiped out. Our history has been torn, shredded to pieces. We just don't have that self-realization about ourselves. We don't know who we truly are as gods and goddesses. All right, most of us melanated people, we tend to think, or they try to teach us that our history started with slavery, or our history started with, the civil rights movement. Now, those things played a pivotal, moment in our history as melanated beings, but that's not where our history has started. Our history started millions and, thousands and millions of years back, from, ancient Atlantis, ancient Sumeria, ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, all these different civilizations that existed within our past. Our history goes millions and millions of years back. We created breakaway civilizations. We were the Godhead. We operated under the Godhead. We operated under the Goddess head. We were priests, priestesses. We were spiritual beings, performing alchemy, healing the sick, transforming our lives. We were co-creators of our own reality. We were the ordainers of destiny. We did all these extravagant and, innovative things that we were just, we weren't of this world. That we were creating breakaway civilizations on this planet that supersede anything that exists within this world right now. So in this video right now, I'm going to be going over the characteristics of what it's meant to be a god or a goddess. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first characteristic of a god slash goddess is we have a purpose. We truly have a purpose on this planet. Now, most people, we try to, look at it from the totem pole, from the bottom to the top. You hear most people, they will say they would die for their city, or they would die for their state. They would die or live for their country. They would die for their planet. But we as gods and goddesses, we think on such an astronomical level that we do the necessary things or what it takes to help and provide to help this universe. Because we know that we are the piece of the puzzle within this grand experiment or this grand mission or this grand opportunity or however you want to like to put it, however you want to call it. We know that we are, the divine helpers that are within this grand experiment, that's within this grand mission, to uh help orchestrate the universe and strive to bring this universe into a positive light, into a positive manner. So we think on an astronomical level, we think on a multi-dimensional level. How can we help people evolve into greater beings? How can we, bring heaven to earth? How can we, make this earth a better place? How can we, provide more love and provide more light, provide more knowledge to help wake up as many people as we can? All right. So as gods and goddesses, we ultimately have a divine purpose. All right. So when you think, we need to start thinking on a more God level. Stop thinking like human beings and think more like gods and goddesses. Right. So we, as regular human beings, we're so focused on our careers and our jobs and, doing, the necessary everyday life as normal human beings, paying bills, taking care of the family, things of that sort. But we have to understand that we have a bigger mission on this planet. We have a much bigger purpose on this planet. All right. So we need to start thinking, stop thinking as a human and start thinking as a God. We have an ultimate purpose in this life. It's time for us to step into that divine purpose, whatever that may be. We all have different purposes. We all have different missions. We all have different jobs and responsibilities that we need to take forth upon in order to help usher in the new frequency of the planet, the new frequency of the new earth, the new vibration of the new earth, in order to, help, build up this extraordinary creation that the divine has bestowed upon us. All right. So the second characteristic of a god/goddess, we spread love and knowledge. Now I believe love and knowledge is far more superior, is far more needed for the human being, as opposed to money or fame, fortune, clothes, all this materialistic stuff, because you can't find happiness within these outside resources, within these outside sources. All right. So I believe the most important thing is that love, that knowledge, that self-love and that self-knowledge. When a person starts to attain that self-love, when a person starts to attain that self-realization about themselves, when they're always seeking knowledge, when it could almost seems, borderline addicting, being addicted to the truth, being addicted to having love for oneself. That's the ultimate prize. That's the ultimate prize within this entire existence, within this entire plane of existence. All right, so when a person steps into that divine love, when they have so much love within themselves that they're willing to share it with the rest of the world, because they know that this feeling can transform the lives of many people. Right? One conscious person that's aware of themselves and the power that they can obtain to transform themselves and transform human beings. That one conscious person can change the lives of 1 million people. That one conscious person is more powerful than any other person or any other being within this entire planet, because that one conscious person can wake up and inspire 1 million people. All right. So when you have that love and that knowledge, you just become a totally different person. You start to transform, physically, mentally, spiritually, all the above. So a god or a goddess is able to spread that love and to spread that knowledge all throughout the world to help as many people as they can. So the third characteristic is we have no fear. Now, by having no fear, a god or a goddess can do many great things in this world, because we know A god and a goddess, we know that fear is false evidence appearing real. That's what the word fear stands for. False evidence appearing real. Fear only exists within this plane of existence. Fear only exists within this third dimensional realm that we live in, because the ego wants to put you in fear. If you don't have control of your ego whatsoever, the ego wants you to stay in this state of fear. The ego wants you to stay in this survival mode, because most of us, we're just in this survival mode. We're just, trying to survive, trying to, take care of our family, take care of our kids, living paycheck to paycheck. We're living like animals. We're living in a scarcity mindset. Right? And that's what that's what the ego wants you to do. The ego wants you to be put in this state of fear. They want you to be in this state of fear. But we know that once you start to transcend consciously, understand that, we are co-creators of our own reality. We live in abundance. That abundance is within us. We are always in a state of abundance. We always, can, have something that we desire. We have the power to do that. But most of us don't understand that. So we're just putting this low consciousness. We're at that root chakra. We're at that lowest state of our being. We're at a low time high. We're at our lower self. But once you start to have that self-realization, like I mentioned earlier, plenty of times, we start to transcend out of this state of fear, and we start raising up our kundalini energy, raising up our energy, energizing our chakras, activating all of our chakras in our being. We start to understand that fear is false evidence appearing real. So we don't operate in the state of fear. We operate in the state of courage. We operate in the state of, resiliency, because we are gods and goddesses. We operate under that Godhead. All right. So another characteristic of a god/goddess is we don't operate in fear, because we know fear is not real. It's only in your head. So the next characteristic of a god/goddess is we co-create our own reality. Now, by co-creating our own reality, we have the help of the spiritual world. We have the help of our ancestors. We have the help of the positive entities that are on our side to manifest what we desire on this earth plane, what we desire on this physical plane. Now, the key to actually co-creating the life that you desire, if you just want a positive life, a more positive lifestyle, if you want something materialistically, like a car or a spouse or a house or anything of those sorts, we have to understand that everything must happen on the spiritual world before it can manifest on the physical world. All right, so it's up to us to operate under a state of being, understanding that we are living in abundance. Everything is within us. Everything that we can ever attain, want, those sorts of things, all that is within us. All right. So operating that state of being, which equates to taking action, because we have to take that action. We have to have that tunnel vision and focus on what we want, and that'll lead to that manifestation. All right. And then I believe where most people get stuck on is being so focused on that, whatever they desire, contemplating on, oh, when am I going to get this thing? Or when am I going to get this job opportunity? When am I going to get that significant other? When you place more importance, when you place that thing on a pedestal, where you're constantly thinking about, the day that you're going to get it, or you're dreading, or when is it going to take place, or when it's going to happen, you're creating that resistance barrier between you and that thing that you desire. And you're creating resistance, and you're moving it farther and farther away from yourself. So that creates this obstacle between you and what you desire. So we always have to remember that those spiritual gifts that we attain, those spiritual gifts that we acquire are needed and are taking place before the physical gifts that we want. So we always have to understand that. All right, so as gods and goddesses, we are co-creators of our own reality. So we have that mind, we have that whatever we want in our mind, and then we set forth taking that action, and that leads to that manifestation. All right. So you utilize the feminine aspect of yourself, the divine feminine, to manifest whatever you want in your head, and then utilize that action, which is the divine masculine, and that leads to the manifestation. All right. So the next characteristic of a god slash goddess, we have a strong relationship with the divine. Now, as gods and goddesses, we are spiritual beings. All right, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we all harness the energy of the universe. We all harness the energy around us. We understand that God or the creator or the divine is in everything and in everyone. All right, we all operate under the law of one. So we have a strong relationship with, with other people, especially people who are operate on the same frequency as you. We have a strong connection to nature. We have a strong connection to animals, all these different things, because we understand that the spiritual essence, the spiritual, the divine, God, the creator, it is in everything and everyone. All right, we utilize that spiritual energy. We utilize that love and that divine love that's all in us and around us. We use that for the greater good, and we use that to help ourselves and to help other people. So gods and goddesses have a strong relationship with the divine and the universe as a whole. So next characteristic, we help slash show empathy for those in need. So like me, I believe that the divine has put me in this position to help others. All right. I wasn't aware of myself at the beginning. I had help from other people, whether it be from, people in my circle, people on YouTube that I watch on YouTube, different YouTubers that I used to watch that provided inspiration for me. People are here, people are put in your life for a reason. Certain people, they might come in your life and then they may leave, within a week or a month or so. Many different people are in your life for different seasons, for different reasons. All right. People are here to, help one another. People are here to help you become more successful or more understanding, or helping you see yourself in a totally different light. All right. So I believe that the divine has put me in this position right now to help you all. Everyone that's watching this video, the one that's watching this video, I believe that divine has put me in this position to help you all understand that y'all are gods and goddesses, that yea are gods and yea are children of the Most High, and to help you understand who you truly are and the type of powers that are lying dormant within you. All right. So we as gods and goddesses, we show empathy. We show empathy and we show love for those in need, because many people out here, they're just lost. They don't, I was in that situation as well. They're lost. They don't know what to do. They don't know themselves. They're in this turmoil. They're in all this, chaos. They have all these problems. So it's up to us to show empathy and to help as many people as we can. Now, that being, I'm gonna just tell you this right here. It's not our job to, not everybody is meant to wake up in this lifetime, because we're all at different consciousness levels. We're all at different, levels of existence. Most people here are newborn babies spiritually. You might have like a 70, 80-year-old woman or a man. They might be older physically, but they might be newborn babies spiritually. They might just, started out early on this earth plane spiritually. So that's why many people are so fascinated. You ever see people, they're so fascinated with the outside world. They try to chase fame and fortune and happiness within the outside world, whether it be from other people, women, materialistic stuff, jewelry, clothes, money, all these different things. They're just starting out spiritually. So, if you're an old soul like me, well, I believe I'm a whole soul. You know, the outside world doesn't impress you. You know, you can't find happiness outside of yourself. That's why you always go within yourself. You always, you actually found that happiness within yourself, and you understand that, and you want to help other people understand that. But not everybody in this world isn't meant to wake up. So don't force your beliefs and don't force your knowledge on other people. If you're around other people who just don't get it, you know, if you're trying to debate with somebody or argue with somebody, you know, help them the best way you can. But ultimately, it's not your job and it's not your responsibility to help wake that person up. You know, maybe they're not meant to wake up in this lifetime. You know, you've done your part, you've done your job, and now it's time for them to learn on their own. That's why we have this reincarnation cycle. All these different, souls, they go through this reincarnation cycle to learn lessons. So not everybody's meant to wake up in this lifetime, and it's not your job, it's not your full responsibility to wake that person up. But you do your part and you help and you try your best to help as many people as you can. And that's what we do as gods and goddesses. So the next characteristic, we serve as beacons of light. So as a god or a goddess, we serve as the light workers. We serve as light beings. We become beacons of light. We have that light within us. All right, we can't see that light with our physical eyes, but in the spiritual realm, we are shining bright. We shine bright. We shine bright for those who are in need. We shine bright for those who need our assistance, who need our help. All right, that analogy, when you have that light outside in the darkness, that light shines bright, and all the mosquitoes, all the bugs start to become attracted to that light. That's how it is with the human body. That's how it is with the human vessel. We become beacons of light, and we start attracting more people around us. Right? So we serve as beacons of light, and we use that light that's within us. We use that divinity that's within us to transform the lives of many people. Right? Because we don't do this for ourselves. We don't do this for egotistical reasons. We don't do this for, we don't sit on our high horse. We don't sit on a pedestal. We serve humanity. We try to serve humanity in the best way that we can. So we always serve as beacons of light. Next characteristic, we are masters of all three planes of existence. Now, the three planes of existence are the mental, physical, and spiritual. All right. So, as gods and goddesses, we are at different stages. All right. We probably are not masters fully within the spiritual, mental, and physical realm. But as long as you are striving for that mastery of the mental, physical, and spiritual, then that's all that matters at the end of the day. But ultimately, we all try to become masters of all three planes of existence: the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. Right? Because all three play a big part in our being. Right? So once you're able to master the physical, all right, then the physical leads to the mental, and then the mental leads to the spiritual. All right, so when we become masters of all those three planes of existence, then we just become unstoppable. We become powerful than we ever been in our entire lives. We become so conscious and so aware of our being, our mind, our bodies. We know our bodies. We know our capabilities within our consciousness. We know the capabilities within our, within the spirit realm. We become more aware of the spirit realm. All right. So we're able to utilize the physical, mental, and spiritual to do whatever we want, to do everything that we need to do within our mission, according to our mission. All right. Creating our reality, eating a healthy diet, reprogramming the subconscious mind, because we all know that the subconscious mind, the subconscious mind is so powerful that whatever we put in our subconscious mind, it believes it to be true, right? So the subconscious mind records everything that we do, everything that we encounter, everything that we watch, So when you're, it's important for us to pay attention to the type of things that we put in our minds, all right? Because the conscious mind, you're only operating within 10% of your entire mind, within your entire being, because the conscious mind only operates within 10% of your mind. And because the subconscious is so powerful, when you tap into that subconscious, which is 90 to 95% of our brain, you know, that dictates how we operate within this world. That dictates how we maneuver through this life according to what we put into our subconscious, because our subconscious, like I said, records everything that we do. So when we become conscious of that, see most people, they, let's say the religious person, the person that's always going to church, that, if you do something wrong, you're going to hell, all these different things, all this religious stuff. When a person like me tries to change their perspective, or, gives them information or certain advice that, trying to help that person think of things from a higher perspective, from a different perspective. When a person believes something for so long, growing up being indoctrinated into the religious information, it becomes so implanted in their subconscious that they believe it to be true. So when they encounter a person who has a different perspective, one has a different viewpoint on spirituality as a whole, they look at that information as data. They look at it face front as data. Most of the time they don't want to accept it, or they don't want to believe in it. They don't want to think about their beliefs in a totally different perspective, in a totally different light, having a different mindset. Taking the information and doing their research. But most of the time they don't want to accept it, or they reject it, or they just want to stay within the religious realm and things of that sort. So it's important for us to deprogram our subconscious, everything that we've been taught, everything that we've learned, and things of that nature, and try to reprogram our subconscious mind. Look at things in a totally different light. Look at it from a different perspective. Look at it from the other side of the spectrum. You see what I'm saying? So as gods and goddesses, we operate under the mental, physical, and spiritual planes, and we become masters of those. And we have that self-mastery about ourselves. We become masters of ourselves. Next characteristic, we embody both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So when we embody the masculine, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine, we become whole beings. All right. When we have that imbalance between the masculine and the feminine, then everything, it just seems that everything doesn't work right, or everything doesn't work in your favor, or you just become so unbalanced that you just can't operate at your full potential. So when you have that equal balance between masculine and feminine, then you're able to have that balance when it comes to everyday life, right? So I'm a Libra, that's my zodiac sign. So I believe it's in my nature to have that balance within everything, not just masculine and feminine, my masculine and feminine energy, but with everything in life. Because the Libra, you ever see the Libra sign is the scale, right? So I always have to have balance in my life. So I always, try to have that balance between my masculine and my feminine energy. I take the time out to, certain things, certain examples within, my world, within my reality, me doing yoga, or me meditating, having self-love, giving self-love to myself, having a healthy diet, just taking care of myself overall. That's me, harnessing the feminine aspect of myself, doing the things to help develop myself within the divine feminine. And then the masculine, me taking action, making these YouTube videos, having that drive, having that ambition, working out, trying to, build muscle, all these different things, operating within my divine masculine, those sorts of things, those little examples, right? certain people will ask me, why do you wear, because I like to express myself with my clothes and fashion and all that. Some people will ask me, why do you wear feminine stuff? Like the earring that I got on and all these different things. Well, I consider myself a creative person. I like to express myself. So, that's just me expressing myself, because I'm in tune with my feminine energy, because there's a balance for me. I consider that a balance. So me wearing feminine stuff, that's just the outward physical expression of me being in tune with my feminine side, with my feminine energy, right? Because I consider myself balanced between my masculine and my feminine. So people ask me that, that's the answer. But as gods and goddesses, we embody both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The man and the woman is married within us. The masculine can't exist without the feminine, and the feminine can't exist without the masculine. So once those two become intertwined, once those two become entangled and come together, then that's when we start to have that self-realization about ourselves. We start to love ourselves better, and we start to operate better within our own life and within our own world. Next characteristic, we maintain high frequencies within our being. So we understand that this outside world, we're exposed to different things. We're exposed to the elements. We're exposed to different people. We're exposed to all types of different energy within this world. So it's important for us to maintain that high frequency. It's important for us to maintain that high energy within ourselves. Because when you're not taking care of yourself, when you are just, eating junk food, when you are just, operating within your divinity, all these different things, all these sorts of things, it becomes easier for other people to drain you. It becomes easier for other things, social media, people, different circumstances. It becomes easier for these things to drain your energy and to drain your spiritual energy. So it's important for us to maintain that high frequency within our being, because when we maintain high frequencies, when we become, when we strengthen our spiritual shield, nothing in this outside world can deter us into decrease our energy levels, because we have to understand that the war is psychological and your spiritual energy is your shield. Your spiritual energy is your weapon. Your spiritual energy, your spiritual shield is able to deflect the negative energies that comes from other people. So when you're around other people who are not on the same frequency or not on the same consciousness level as you, they don't bother you. It becomes to the point where they don't bother you in the slightest. So as gods and goddesses, it's important for us to maintain that high frequency within our being. Next characteristic, we operate under the law of one, non-duality. Like I mentioned earlier, we know that divinity, we know that the creator is within everything and within everyone. We are not separate from ourselves. We are not separate from our family, our spouse, our friends, our coworkers. I'm not separate from you. We are one and the same. All right. Me talking to you, I'm basically talking to myself at this point. If I'm talking to, a friend, if I'm talking to a business partner, I'm basically talking to myself when I'm talking to that person. That's how I see it. And that's how we all need to see it when we're talking to other people, when we're interacting with other people, when we're speaking to other people. You are ultimately talking to yourself, because that's you. That's another reflection of you. The homeless person walking down the street, the dude with the sagging pants, the crook, the burglar, the hippie, the goth person, all these different people, that's another version of you. But we all need to operate within that mindset, right? So we all operate under the law of one, all right? So the last characteristic of a god/goddess is we understand that the unseen is real and the seen is fake. Now, we know as gods and goddesses that the spirit world is the real world, and this physical world that we experience, that we walk around seeing physical bodies, going to work, these different buildings that we walk into, paying taxes, all these different things that exist within this third dimensional realm, that exist within this matrix. This is the fake world, right? The elders will say this is sleepy time. This is the actual sleepy time. We may think that, by sleeping, that's sleepy time, but this is the actual sleepy time right now. So when you're dreaming, when you're sleeping, you have all these different dreams. I've noticed that I've been having a lot of dreams lately. That's the soul traveling to different dimensions. That's the soul traveling through the astral realm, right? So before we fell into this physical world, we were gods, we were goddesses. We understand the spiritual world. We understand that the spirit world was the actual real world. We were, we had all these different powers and capabilities. We had that, we were operating within that pineal gland. Our pineal gland was open. Our third eye was open. We were doing extraordinary things with our spiritual energy and our spiritual gifts. But once we started to fall down into this physical realm, the spirit realm started becoming more invisible. So before, the spirit realm was more visible and the physical was invisible. So as we started to fall, the spirit realm started becoming more invisible and the physical realm started becoming more visible, right? So that's why we operate, within this physical realm. We rely so much on the physical. We rely so much on physical things that we forgot that we were, that we were gods, that we were goddesses. And we utilize the spirit realm to maneuver and to help influence our everyday decisions and our everyday actions, right? So, this matrix that we live in, the matrix is all around us. Us watching the news on the TV, looking out the window outside, paying taxes, going to work. We may think this is the real world, but it actually isn't. This is a fake world that these beings, that these aliens, or whatever you want to call them, this created world that we live in. This is the fake world. We have to understand that the unseen is real. The unseen is the real deal, and the seen is fake. This is a fake illusion. This is a fake world that we live in. This is a fake creation that we live in, that, whatever they're trying to do within their dark agenda, right? So we have to understand that the unseen is real. So we have to go into inner space. We have to start going more into inner space instead of outer space, because everything, all the information, all the answers, all the abilities, all the knowledge, the information is within us. The universe is within you. The divine is within you. All right. So we always have to operate under that type of mindset. We always have to come to this truth. We all have to come to this truth. The unseen is real, and the seen is fake. The seen is the illusion. All right. So there you have it, folks. These are the characteristics of a god/goddess. Hopefully this helps you out in any regard. Hopefully this, taps something within yourself, understanding your divine power, your divine nature, and start operating like a god. Start operating like a goddess that you truly are, because you are a god and you are a goddess. Right? You can't become something that you already are. Like I said at the beginning. So hopefully this helps you out, and hopefully this, sparks something within your mind and sparks something within your spirit to operate on a different level. All right. So till next time, and always remember, all power resides from within, and always keep the faith, because God in the universe is always working for you. Take care, guys, and God bless.